Hi, and thank you so much for watching. So this is me painting 10 paintings in 1 week. 6 days to be exact. This is the transformation of these canvas boards that I used. I will be giving you a bit of a commentary while you can watch me paint. So first, I always love to kill the white. I'm using acrylic paint and spray paints, and I love these fluorescent spray paints by Edding. They're really amazing. And then we're already on day 2. Day 1 wasn't a long day. Day 2, I'm transferring the sketches that I made. I admit I made these sketches a little bit beforehand, but they're very minimalistic. As you can see, it's just some value masses, dark slides, and minimal sketching. I did write down some color intentions that I think I mostly stuck to. So now I'm really just transferring the sketches onto the canvas boards. I'm using a turquoise acrylic paint, thinking that this is going to be a good paint or a good color for my color schemes that I had in mind. But then I thought it might not be visible enough for me later on, and so I'm also using my amazing acrylic markers. In my second session, still on day 2, I took the canvas boards outside to the garden and used inks as a further underpainting. Now I'm using mostly Liquitex acrylic inks. Some other brands are in there too. I think I love those. I wrote it out for you. The transparent inks, raw sienna, burnt umber. They sell them in a set. I'm not making money for saying this, but I love them. I also have blue and pink and yellow, as you can see there in the box. I must say, working with inks, I love it. But it's not that you can just put them on and let them run and hope for the best. Or at least not in my case. I have to be quite attentive to how much is running and in what direction. This is also in a garden where the floor is not even. So I had to constantly be on my feet and turning paintings around and stuff. But it sure is fun. So I'm working in triptychs and diptychs because I think that's cool for a big project like that, not to have 10 completely different paintings. And this is also still on day 2. It was a really long painting day. And I'm putting in darks and lights, of course, after everything's completely dry, using acrylic paint. This is not black, it's Payne's Gray, which is one of my favorite paints for just putting in values in the very beginning of the painting. And I'm doing some glazing. I use glazing liquid or glazing medium, and sometimes also just water, depending on what effect I want. I always end up covering more of the ink layer than I intend, but somehow I usually find it's too busy. So yeah, in the end there is not that much of the ink shining through, but I still think it makes a big difference having it and not having it. So I do like to make underpaintings with ink. And here I am. This is clear white that I'm using because I know I'm going to be putting a lot of color over it. This is really also just to see for myself whether the paintings are going to be working value-wise. Dark light and leading the eyes, whether that works as planned or whether I need to make any dramatic changes. Here I've also already used some turquoise, as you can see, and just bringing out more of basically what I had intended and what was on my sketches. So this is what it looked like at the end of day 2. I only used acrylic paint on those 3. I didn't have time for the others. The others are just still in their raw state with underpainting and inks. And here is already day 3. I'm basically doing exactly the same thing with these paintings as with the first 3, using acrylic paint, putting in darks and lights and glazing. Again, covering up a lot of that ink effect, just calming it down a little bit so that the actual subject of the painting can have a little bit more attention than the background. On these, I'm already also putting in some other colors in the bodies of these guys. And I'm speeding it up a lot now because it's just the same process on all of the upcoming paintings now. Now, what I do want to say though, just because I am intending to paint 10 paintings in 1 week, which is, by the way, part of the Milan Art Mastery program, which I am doing, I am not rushing things. That it looks like it with the time lapse, but I'm actually not painting in a rush. I don't think that brings good paintings, and I'm not cutting back on the depth, meaning on the layers of my painting, because I think all those color layers are typical for me, and I do like the effect a lot. So I'm not really cutting back. I'm not saving time in that sense. What I did do is create simpler paintings. They're also smaller, of course, and that does save a little bit of time, not that much, because you have to use smaller brushes. So that it's more the simplicity of the subject matter that helps you be faster. Now, these 2 are my least favorite. They will turn out as my least favorites, and I really struggled with them. But this is what everything looked like after my 3rd day of so-called production week. And most of them are quite nice already. Then on day 4, I just added more detail. I'm using my beloved acrylic markers again. Mostly on these 3, on the others not so much. And I'm just going in with smaller brushes and more different colors now that I have the values in there. I'm just adding details. If you have any questions about my process or about the Milan Art Mastery program, I'm very happy to answer comments. I make a point in answering them as much as I can, and I usually can. So please feel free to ask. Also, if you want to know anything about the materials that I'm using, go ahead, drop me a line. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoy what you're seeing, or just give me a thumbs up. All of that really helps my channel to get seen amongst all the search results. And I do love making the videos, but it is of course also nice if it gets found by people who are interested and who are like-minded. So I enjoy that very much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and doing all those good things. You can also subscribe to my newsletter, by the way. I will be selling these paintings as originals very soon, not quite yet, and also as prints and maybe greeting cards. I'm not sure. We'll see. Like I said, I'm not quite there yet, but that will happen soon. And if you want to be the first to find out, you might want to subscribe to my newsletter. I will let you know there for sure. I'm also setting up a shop on my homepage. That should happen within the next, let's say 2 to 3 months. I also have an Etsy shop, but I don't sell my paintings there. I make surface design, pattern design, and I sell some products with my stuff on it. Sorry about I kept moving the camera and the canvas boards, and some of it is out of view right now, but not for long. We're back. So with these 2, I just struggled a lot because I don't think I had such a precise plan. Planning is always a good thing. Or I think I had a plan. I had something in my mind and the inks just didn't do what I thought it would do. And so I also used some spray paint. I don't know if you saw that. just the yellow in the upper part of the canvas. I also had used some metallic inks for the underpainting, and all of that didn't quite have the effect that I had hoped. And now we're already on day 5. These are the last 3 paintings that I had not done the second layer of acrylic, so the details with the markers and the color really. And that was a very short painting day for me. That was the only thing I did, was just the last acrylic layer on these 3. What I like to do when I do stuff like that is I save my favorite ones for last, or at least the ones that I think I'm going to enjoy most for last, just for motivation. So I don't save the ones that I'm struggling with for last, because that makes it harder. I just get the hard ones done first. And I enjoyed these 3 a lot. I think I took 1 day off then, and this is my day 6. So that's what they all looked. They look fairly finished, but I do an oil layer on top. That's my last layer. Always, because I swear it makes such a big difference. It's so worth it. Even though after the acrylics you think, oh, this could even be finished. But adding the oil just makes the biggest difference, and is really worth it. And as you can see, I took everything outside. It was so lovely. I absolutely loved it. Painting outside on a nice day like that. I'm doing some more courageous things. Painting takes courage, I tell you guys. Or at least courage usually gets paid off. You know, sometimes when you're kind of liking something already, but you're like, should I be dramatic and really, you know, add this or that? And usually I think it's worth it. So these, I kind of turned them around to something that I halfway like. They're still my least favorite of the 10. I know some people like them. I think the problem is that not all faces are equally distorted. Should I say that? I don't know. I'm actually not sure what makes them not be my favorites. I'm being very thin with my oil colors, and of course also very careful not mixing the darks and whites together, the extreme darks and extreme brights. But they were also already there with my acrylic, from my acrylics, so I only had to maybe slightly enhance them. I changed color schemes a tiny little bit on some things, just added in some more variation within the reds, stuff like that. The titles of the paintings usually come to me while I'm painting. Sometimes nothing comes to my mind, and then I find the title after the fact. I'm calling these 2 Thoughtful Wishing, 1 and 2. These 2 are Measuring Up, 1 and 2. It's a diptych. Then these 3 are called Uncomfortable Positions, 1, 2, and 3. And we have Family Constellation, 1, 2, and 3. So these are my 10 paintings that I made all within 1 week. I am very happy with 8 out of 10. I think that's great. What's missing still is the signature, and also I will varnish them, but I have to let them completely dry first. And that concludes my production week. Thank you so much for watching. You can subscribe to my channel, but you can also subscribe to my newsletter on my homepage. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram. Soon I will sell originals, but I'm also selling prints, and I'm selling some of my art on products. And you will receive a coupon if you subscribe to my newsletter. So why don't you do that? Everything is linked, and I really hope to see you again. So take care.